Okay, just out on my forage walk. I like taking walks throughout the season, seeing what's in bloom and how much. So this meadow here is slender beer tongue. The bees tend to like it quite a bit, so it's a nice, it's a dry prairie type flower. The pink ones are pussy toes, so the bees do go after that. I don't see much local weed this year. Usually this meadow has a decent number of showy local weed. Right now I'd say the dandelions are almost done. Still a few, but it's been really dry and hot. We've got, there's still some Jacob's ladder, but it's almost done. And I'd say we're probably 2 weeks behind on the flowers. Over here there's some fireweed. There's a field, a small field over there of arnica, but I don't think it'll be a crazy bloom this year, which is fine. But as we go and walk this way, you'll see that there's a combo here of both slender tongue and Jacob's ladder. So I guess it's, what time is it now? It's about 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. Still some honeybees. I see a few honeybees on some of the flowers. I'll zoom in, but it's bouncing around, so it'll be hard to see. But midday, this meadow has lots of my bees, and quite nice. We'll see what happens with this season. So these open spots are typical boreal forest type forage areas. So I'll head over to the arnica area. The forest itself currently has a lot of Labrador tea and low bush cranberry or lingonberry. So it's just the cranberries, the wild cranberries, which is good. And then the aspen and the spruce trees and the pine trees will create, or I'd say this year's hot, dry right now, and it was a cool, wet until about a week ago. So there's probably going to be a decent honeydew blooms that I'll have to be aware of. But so yeah, this is boreal forest type forage. There is no agriculture, so what nature provides is what we have. Okay, so I am finding a few showy local weed. There's usually a lot more, but because of the dry, cold, it's just catching up. So might be a decent bloom. And then over there, you can see these yellow ones. They close for the evening. So those are arnica. Individual arnica, not really popular with the bees, but in these bigger patches, the bees will visit them. So I guess it'll be medicinal type honey. I'm just joking. So you can see in the forest there, especially the spruce forest, that's semi-boggy with a lot of peat moss. You'll get a lot of Labrador tea. I've known of people seeing bees on it, but I think it's a low priority for the bees. This area doesn't have too much, but there's a swampy black forest, black spruce boggy area there that's just jam-packed with it. So another common one here, this yellow one, so we call that northern oxytrop or loca weed. So it's not a big bloom this year because, like I said, dry and cool, but if we do get rain, we will get more. The other common one is there's some vetch, some alpine vetch. This one here, the bees do like this one, so they collect the pollen off of this one. It's a nice dark orange pollen. So it's one of the native vetches up here. Here's another popular one with the bees. So it's, I think, Eskimo sweet pea. So it's another type of vetch. It is native. It's also called bare root. So if I just zoom to the side here, you can see some diggings. So that's from the grizzlies. They come along the road here and eat this plant, especially early season and then later, just before winter sets in. So it gives them some starches and helps give them the energy they need to overwinter, or I guess hibernate for the long winters here. So bare root. So the other thing to note is a lot of what you see now, or what I'm showing you, is what makes up a lot of the bees is winter stores. I don't touch honey from the brood chamber, so and I go singles. So a lot of times prior to me adding my mediums on top, those boxes are already at 50 to 75 pounds. So they are at weight for the winter, and then I just I might put 10 pounds of sugar syrup honey in there. On average, a single for me consumes about 30 to 35 pounds over our 7-month winter. So understanding what they have now actually is important for understanding what they'll be overwintering with. So it's the reason I do my pollen analysis on the honey. It gives me a good idea of what the bees are eating. And then when I do squish bee guts in the winter from October to March, April, I can actually see the different pollens from the different parts of the season as they're consuming through their honey. So I see August, late July, August type pollen, so the fireweeds, and more the fungal spores and the honeydew elements. And then it goes into the July flowers, June flowers, and then sometimes May flowers if we had a decent season. But there is a progression, and you can actually see it in the pollen and in what the bees are consuming over winter. Quite interesting. I guess these are the lingonberry flowers. So they're pretty much all over the forest floor, in both the pine and the spruce forest. So which is good. The spruce there'll be a lot more because the soiling, I guess, it's more moist and it typically has more peat moss. But the bees tend to forage more where the pine trees are because it's more open, more sunny, and the bees, I guess it's easier for them to fly in a pine forest than it is in a spruce forest, just because usually the understory is pretty clear. And I guess what I'm doing here, I've been doing for the last 15 years, so I do have a gut feel about what's in bloom, when it's in bloom, if it's fast, if it's slow. But this is also what I use to build my pollen library, my nectar and pollen calendar for the different flowers in this area. So I don't leave much up to guesswork. I want my bees to succeed and be set up the best. So hence the reason I do all these little studies and take lots of notes. And then you'll notice this white stuff. These are lichens, so we call them caribou moss, caribou lichen. So it's caribou food. So in the winter, the caribou come through here and feed on these lichens. So they liken that lichen. I guess one thing when you're walking in the bush here, I never leave home without my bear spray. So it comes in handy. I've used it. Never had to use it. I've used air horns a couple times to scare some bears away, but luckily I've never had to use my bear spray. Knock on wood. But I've had a couple close calls. So yeah, always safe than sorry, especially with that bear root along the road. It is a target species for the bears, so always have to be careful.